Welcome back. It's been nearly 50 years since Venezuela nationalized their oil assets, causing foreign companies there to sacrifice their investments. And they've been trying to claw back billions of dollars in losses ever since. Here's Matt Rivers.
Nicolás Maduro is out of Venezuela. And now President Trump wants U.S. oil companies to move in. The first thought when you think Venezuela might not be oil, and yet it has the largest proven oil reserves of any country in the world. More than Saudi Arabia, more than Iraq, way more than the U.S. U.S. oil companies tapped those reserves for decades. ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Chevron, the biggest names in oil raked in billions, pumping heavy crude oil from vast oil fields, most of it bound for the United States. But all that started to change in the 1970s, when Venezuela first started the process of nationalizing its oil, meaning the government took over privately owned oil companies' resources and infrastructure. For a while, that was okay for U.S. companies. The government allowed most to keep doing business, bringing continued investment and technological advances. Then, enter this man. Hugo Chavez swept to power in the 1990s, partly on a platform that it was time to stop foreign exploitation of Venezuela's natural resources. Oil, chief among them. One by one, he started kicking out U.S. oil companies. Leases to land they had, equipment they had invested in, infrastructure they built, it didn't matter. The government was taking over, and that was that. He used the vast profits from oil to fund his social programs, and for a while, it fueled a resurgent Venezuelan economy. But a toxic mixture of corruption, mismanagement, and a lack of investment led to a swift downfall. At the time Chavez came to power, Venezuela was exporting more than 3 million barrels of oil per day. That number is now regularly less than a third of that. And without oil money flowing into the economy, things quickly took a turn for the worse. Nicolás Maduro, assuming power after Chávez's death in 2013, oversaw such economic and political turmoil in the 2010s that nearly 8 million Venezuelans fled the country, seeking refuge and a functioning economy somewhere else. And as he became increasingly combative with the U.S., Donald Trump decided to target oil during his first term. For the first time, the U.S. would ban Venezuelan oil imports, a crushing blow for an industry already reeling. The Biden administration eased those sanctions, hoping that Maduro would allow free and fair elections in 2024. But that was not the case. Maduro announced a victory that many countries around the world declared fraudulent. And then came the second Trump administration. And the brazen attack in Venezuela's capital city. Getting Maduro out is not enough, says Trump. Getting American oil companies back in is now the goal. This week is a turning point in America's long history in Venezuela's oil industry.